Hey, good morning, everybody. A lovely Saturday morning, Memorial Day weekend. Figured I'd come out here and do a video from Fishkill Little League. Now, Fishkill Little League, as everybody knows out there, has been part of a lot of amazing memories. My wife and myself, my children have met some of the best people we've met in our lives here. We've met friends, we've had competition, we've won championships, we've lost championships, but we made a lot of friendships. Now, my kids have since aged out from Fishkill Little League, and they went on to play travel baseball, played for the high school, and now they're at a point now where they're young men, and I'm very proud of the both of them. But I want to come here this morning to tell you about something specific. I want to tell you a little story. 19 years ago, my wife and myself and Aiden moved up here from Queens. Aiden was 6 months old. Bought a house up here in a community where we were close to family. We'll get some help with the baby. And as a whole, Fishkill was a beautiful community and we loved it. So we bought a house up here. We've been here for 19 years. We've since had Jack, who is 17 now. Aiden is now 19. And me and my wife and Aiden in the last 19 years have grown to be a family of four. Now this family of four, when Aiden was 5 years old, decided he wanted to play baseball. It was amazing to me. As a guy who loved baseball my whole life. I have two sons. My one son wants to play t-ball. And obviously, progressively after that, Jack wanted to play t-ball as well. But I'm going to tell you about the day that I first walked onto the field at Fishkill Little League. I walked out here and I saw all the people. Now, I do a podcast, I like to talk. And anybody out there that's watching this video knows that I like to talk. But walking around, just assessing the situation. I'm a guy that moved up here with a 9-month-old son at the time, and now he's 5 and he wants to play baseball, and now it's time for us to venture out, maybe try to make some friends, see who's in the community. So me being the guy that I am, I go out there on the field, and kids are running around, and I'm checking out the situation, and Aiden's having a catch, and I'm like, what, this seems like a pretty cool thing. All the kids are having fun, all the parents are involved. It's like, what, I think I might want to coach. And as I'm having this thought, I'm just standing looking, and somebody comes up and taps me on the shoulder. And he says, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Hey." He's like, I paraphrasing the conversation because it's about 14 years ago. But needless to say, this man came up to me and said, "How you doing? I'll give you his name in a second." He's like, "I'm gonna be coaching the t-ball team here." He goes, "I got 3 kids. I'm gonna be the coach. I feel like I have to." And he'd laugh. And he asked me if I wanted to coach with him. So I said, "Sure." It's like, this is great. It's the first guy that actually came up to me, introduced himself to me. And I decided to coach t-ball with him. You guys are going to hear all these stories next week, but the guy that I'm talking about is ERNIE, Alfred. The Alfred family, from that day forward, became great friends of the Murphy family. Now, when I say great friends, I mean friends. Through the years, in and out of each other's lives, but always there. They're a family that we always held, and still hold near and dear to our heart. Well, they lost their father, and Alicia lost a husband this weekend. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about how feelings happen. Last week, I'm at a baseball game in Brooklyn, watching my nephew Gaetano play baseball. And it's amazing. My 2 boys played. Now I'm getting to watch my nephew. He's an amazing athlete. He's out there doing everything. I'm so proud of him. I'm sitting there on the third base side, just enjoying the baseball game. And I look over and I see my wife on the phone. So my wife jumps up and she starts hysterically crying. So I don't know if anybody that does know me, my dad's a little sick right now. So I instantaneously jumped up and I had the thought that something really bad happened with my dad. So I'm preparing myself to go over and talk to my wife about this. And she's crying uncontrollably. And then Aiden being the amazing son that he is, hugging my wife, and she can't get the words out. And I'm like, Aiden, what's the matter? It's like, what's the matter? Is Poppy okay? And he just looked at me and he goes, Dad. I said, what? And he said, Ernie. And I stopped. I said, what about Ernie? And he couldn't get the words out. And he said, Ernie passed. Now, I was preparing myself to hear my wife or my son say that my 76-year-old dad, who's been sick, has passed away. But the feeling in my gut that I got when I found out that it was my 44-year-old friend, my brain just went instantaneously to his family. Alicia, she lost her husband. The girls, they lost their father. Xavier, the boy, he lost his father. That hit me in the stomach like a sack of potatoes. The change in feeling that I had from preparing for something to hearing news out of the blue and not being prepared for it was a feeling that I've only felt once in my life. When young people pass and they don't have the time to show the world what great people they are, when they're given such a short time on this planet, of course it gives you a lot of questions. You question religion, you question God, you question life, you question everything. And at the end of the day, Ernie Alford was 44 years old, had a wife, has kids, has a mom, has a family, has brothers. He has a lot of people that loved him, family that loved him. Now he's gone. I'm having a really bit of a hard time with this because we talk about it often, about certain people walking into your life and completely changing it. He was that guy. I have a lot of friends up here. I have a lot of acquaintances. I have people we hang out with, we laugh, we joke, we go out with. But as you get older as a man, and as I said before, we started the Shooting the Breeze podcast because sometimes as men we have to get stuff out. So that is tough when you think about all the years and years of good advice, all the years and years of fun stories, all the years of just hanging, all the years of New Year's Eves, birthdays. You know, it's not like you take it for granted that somebody's always going to be there. I wouldn't say that, but Ernie was always there for me at the right time. I went through a little bit of something, I guess, I should say mentally last year. I guess you could go back to the podcast and I really talked about it very honestly. I took some time off from work and he would stop by just on a whim because he knew that I was having a rough time. And he'd make me laugh. We'd talk. Of course, I would do most of the talking. But that was okay with him, though. He would just sit there and listen to me. And he was honest with me. If I was messing up, he would tell me. If I was making the wrong decision, he would tell me. If I was doing the right thing, he would tell me. He gave me so many pearls of wisdom. Now, I always say that Ernie was a big guy, but short on words. When I mean short on words, I mean he always just said the right thing. Ernie didn't waste words. I guess you could say sometimes I'm the type of guy that kind of wastes words sometimes because I'm always talking. But Ernie never wasted a word. When he talked, you listened. When he broke your balls, It was funny. When you broke his balls back, it was funny. Nothing was off limits. Now there's people out there, like I say, that are gonna miss him. You know, I bet if you, I'm gonna ask some people next week, I bet if you ask anybody that's gonna be at these memorials in this wake, you ask, you're gonna hear a lot of people saying, well, Ernie was a great guy. He was a good dude, nice guy. But I'm here to tell you that he was so much more than the guy just hanging around, not saying much. Ernie was my friend. Now, as men, we in our life, we don't get to have too many people that we call our friend. I lost one a long time ago. In 1995, he was 20. Now, May 19th, 2024, will be another day when somebody was taking you way too soon. You could go back and look at all his pictures and look at everything that they're posting on social media. That was him. Happy, smiling. But you know what though? There was another side, which we all have. Not everybody's happy all the time. Not everybody is not worried about stuff all the time. He had his things too, and he would tell me about them. It's kind of funny, like when he would stop by, it wasn't Ernie went to stop by with a text or a phone call. He just knew that I would be there and he would just come by. I would see the car of the week pull up. I can remember the last day he pulled up in his Cadillac. And I said, wow, you got a Cadillac now. And he pulled up and we sat in my yard. It's not too long ago. And we talked like we always do. Always, there was never pauses in conversation. A, you have me who talks a lot. And B, you had Ernie, who deep down inside, I really think he just loved hearing me talk. And when he would want to say something, I would stop immediately. That's the relationship that we had. We can sit and hang out and we can just talk nonsense, or we can get real. And everything in between. We shared a disdain for LeBron James. Everybody out there that follows the Murph and E Dubs page on Facebook, all those LaFlop, LeBron memes. Well, I had told him one time that he posts those memes on our Facebook page 15 to 20 at a time, and they're all funny, and they're all good, and they're all thought-provoking. Because you know what though, that's another thing about Ernie. Everything Ernie said was thought-provoking. He always said the right thing, and he always made you think. So, this is a big loss for our community. Now, if anybody out there knows the Alfred family, if anybody watching this knows me, or if anybody out there just is watching this and you want to hear a good story, well, Ernie's story wasn't over. His story up until now was the fact that he affected so many people on so many levels. And he affected me. The day he walked out on that field and introduced himself to me. Now, it's easy to say, you know, I should have called, or I should have did this, but that just drives people crazy. You don't know when people are going to be taken away from you so quickly. But what I do know is, Ernie, you are my friend. And I know, deep in my heart, that I was your friend. And again, one more time about this place right here. There's so many great memories. That memory over there will never be replaced. Where a family up here welcomed my family into their hearts. And I will be forever grateful for having the time that I did have, the 13 years of friendship that I did have. And I know you're looking at me right now because you know the podcast. You got to get it out there. Ernie, I tell you all the time, man, that the way I work through stuff is I like to talk about it. I like to get it out there. I like to promote dialogue. And I know you're not going to want anybody to stay quiet about how they feel about you, because you always wanted to create dialogue too. I'm going to say some stuff about you next week, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through it. They're all going to come from my heart. And there is one thing I'm going to say to people, and I'm probably going to open up, I guess the speech I'm going to say is that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come here that I envy. And when I say I envy them, I mean that they got a chance to see you and talk to you and be your friend or be your, for longer. For some people knew him for 44 years, like his mom. Some people knew him for 25 years, 30 years, Alicia. His kids knew him for their lives. He has a best friend that he would talk about all the time. He knew him for a long time. He's got college buddies that knew him for a long time. I knew Ernie for 13 years. And those were 13 years of a friendship that I know he understood, and I know I understood. So anybody out there, like I was trying to get into before, who knows the Alfred family, who just knows me, who just happens to see this video, June 23rd, anybody bowling out there, Fishkill Bowling League, where he bowled, they're having a fundraiser. I want people who don't even know Ernie to come down and sign up for this bowling tournament. I want his friends, I want his bowling league, I want kids, I want people that have never even looked at a bowling ball before, who don't even know how to bowl, to sign up a team. All the money is going to go to the family. And if there right now is a family that's in need of everything, all of our love and support, it's this family. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see there's an obituary, you'll see there's fundraisers, you'll see information about the bowling fundraiser. $5, $10, sign up for the bowling league, a phone call that we're thinking about you. That's all it really takes. So all this stuff is going to be going on in the next couple of weeks. So just take a time to, if you see Alicia or if you see the kids, just stop and say that you're sorry, or say, maybe tell her a story. Alicia seems to be wanting to hear stories and see pictures. If you see her out in the store and you knew Ernie, but you didn't know his wife that he spoke about so highly all the time, just stop her and tell her a good memory about him. Because we all have them. And I have 13 years of great memories. My wife said to me a couple weeks ago, even before any of this was going on, that memories make death a little bit easier. And that kind of goes with my point when I say that death is for the living, not the dead. Because it's the living that have to realize that you're not here anymore. And it's the living that have to realize that I don't open up to too many people. the way I'm feeling right now, I kind of needed to talk to somebody a little bit to find out why this happened. But you know what? That person's not here to talk to about this. Ernie, you're my friend. And that's a word that I hold dearly to my heart. And I miss you. From Fishkill Little League to the community of Fishkill, sorry for your loss, the Alfred family. And Ernie, as you say all the time, maybe I'll see you on the other side. And hopefully my message got to Rabo. Rabo, if you run into Ernie up there, he's one of the good ones. Take care, everybody. This is Murph from Keep Talking 365, where Ernie was my #1 fan. Take care, guys.